A few months back, LeEco became Coolpad's largest shareholder. Now what does that mean to us, the end users? Well, for starters, LeEco and Coolpad have come up with this, the Cool1 Dual, which right now is the cheapest dual camera smartphone in the market. Okay, that's just it? Of course not, let's dig in deeper. This is Sundar from C4E Tech and this is my full review of the Cool1 Dual. Let's get started. Let's begin with the design and build. Just like most other LeEco phones, the Cool1 also sports a metal unibody, but this time it's made of magnesium alloy. It feels good in the hand. The screen to body ratio is quite high, which means less bezels, more screen real estate, which in turn means there are better chances for single-handed usage. Speaking of the screen, it's a 5.5-inch Full HD IPS LCD display that covers 72% NTSC color gamut, and the brightness can go up to 450 nits. All those numbers aside, the visibility under sunlight is just average. The black bezels are an eyesore, but given the price segment, the display is quite good. The color reproduction is quite accurate. At 401 pixels per inch, the display is sharp, and the viewing angles are great. It's also worth mentioning that the Cool1 has backlit capacitive keys. To the front, apart from the display and the capacitive keys, there's also a earpiece and sensors. Speaking of which, we have all the basic sensors in place. The proximity sensor, the ambient light sensor, even the gyroscope sensor that's not found on certain phones as expensive as 40,000 rupees. Anyway, the call quality is good, no issues with cellular reception, the button placements are fine. I personally like it when everything's situated to the right. Being a right-hander, it makes single-handed usage a tad easier. To the left there's a SIM slot that can hold 2 nano SIMs. Note that it's not a hybrid slot, so there's no option to throw in a micro SD card. To the bottom there's the primary microphone, a USB Type-C port that supports OTG and reverse charging, and a speaker. The audio output isn't the loudest, but nonetheless it's good. The audio quality via the 3.5mm headphone jack is average. Not complaining, cause that's how it is with most other Android phones in this price segment. And beside the headphone jack, we have an infrared sensor, something that's been finding its way out of the market lately. LeEco also has an amazing app to control this sensor, and together they offered a pleasant experience. The fingerprint sensor is mounted to the rear. It's an active scanner and also doubles as a trigger for selfies. It recognizes my fingerprint really fast. The phone itself is just as fast, thanks to the beefy Snapdragon 652 chip underneath. It performs really well. Apps and games load quickly. Any task, be it using the camera or browsing the web, feels snappy. The memory management too is great. LeEco's traditionally had great memory management. We've never experienced RAM management issues with any of the LeEco phones we have tested, and the Cool1 isn't any different. The Adreno 510 GPU takes care of gaming. Any game, be it light or heavy, is handled well. There are very minor stutters, but they are just rare. Doesn't really affect the experience. The gameplay is smooth and responsive, so overall I'm happy with LeEco's decision to go with the 652. The Cool1 has two 13-megapixel cameras. One's a monochrome sensor and the other an RGB sensor. The Cool1 uses dual camera 2.0 technology. This technology combines information from the two sensors to create images of supposedly better quality. Just to give you an idea, this is the same technology that's used in the Honor 8 and the Mi 5S Plus. Outdoors under bright light, the Cool1 captures sharp pictures with a high level of detail and good color reproduction. The dynamic range and the exposure are not up to the mark. That said, the overall image quality is good. I'm certainly impressed. Indoors, again the Cool1 reproduces the colors well and captures considerably sharp images, thanks to the dual camera setup. There's a bit of noise, but the overall image quality is quite fine. Under low light, the Cool1 captures decent pictures. Once again, the dual camera setup comes into play here. Let me show you a side-by-side comparison of photos taken with the second camera closed and open. As you can see, the one taken with both cameras is way less noisier. The shooting experience under low light though isn't very nice. Tap the shutter button and it takes anywhere between 1 and 4 seconds to finish capturing and let you click another picture. That said, the Cool1 is better than any other phone in this price segment when it comes to image quality, especially under low light, thanks to the dual camera setup. Additionally, there's a SLR mode, but it doesn't use the second camera. The blurring of the background is done through software processing, and it rarely works. Moving on, the 8 megapixel front-facing camera performs well, especially for the price. The dynamic range is just average, but the color reproduction is good. The image has ample detail with minimal noise. It's quite okay even under low light. The Cool1 is capable of capturing 4K videos at 30 frames per second. The quality is okay, wouldn't really call it impressive. There are a lot of artifacts, and while the colors are good, I feel the footage is a bit underexposed. The autofocus issue that was found on the LeEco has been fixed. That said, focusing takes more time than what you would expect, and sometimes the phone fails to even focus on the subject. Anyway, the Cool1 runs on EUI 5.6 built on top of Android 6.0 Marshmallow. In case you're wondering, yes, this is not the stock launcher. I've been using the Nexus launcher because the stock launcher has no app drawer and there's the LeLive app icon which I cannot move elsewhere. There's a number of uninstallable bloatware. The shortcuts and toggles can be found in the app switcher, something LeEco calls the control center. Go leave a comment below if you've heard this elsewhere. Anyway, other regular EUI features like wallpapers and themes are available. We also have the dual app feature that's supposed to let you log into 2 accounts in 2 different instances of a particular application. As of now, it supports only WeChat. That said, the user experience is great. The UI is so fluid and responsive. Everything from opening apps to scrolling through a web page feels snappy. EUI also has battery saving modes. There's the regular battery saver that disables haptic feedback and limits background data. And then there's an ultra-long standby mode which turns off Wi-Fi, mobile data and GPS during sleep. I didn't test these modes out, but once when I had only 10% charge left and needed my phone to not die for at least 3 more hours, I turned on the battery saver and I did get through. But that could also be because of the amazing battery life that this phone has by itself. A 4060 mAh battery fuels the Cool1, and the battery life... well, I take the phone out of charge in the morning, the phone dies by afternoon or evening. The next day. It's just incredible. Even with heavy usage, I ended the day with about 20% juice left. With medium usage, say a few hours of social networking, instant messaging, light gaming, a few phone calls, some music, some browsing, it usually lasts more than a day and a half, easily. To me, this is as good a selling point as the dual cameras. Despite cramming in a 4060 mAh battery, LeEco has done a pretty good job of keeping the form factor in check. The phone's just 8.2mm thick, which is even thinner than the Redmi Note 3. It's also worth noting that the Cool1 supports Qualcomm Quick Charge 2.0, which is supposed to charge the phone from 0 to 50% in just 30 minutes. Anyway, the Cool1 is priced at 1099 yuan, which comes to about 11,000 rupees or $160. For that price, I'd say LeEco and Coolpad have put together a solid device. The performance, the battery life, the build quality, the camera for the most part, and above all the user experience, it's all great here. So this definitely is a steal at 11,000 rupees or $160. Or if you want to go cheaper, you could pick up the Cool Changer 1C, which is identical to the Cool1 except for the fact that the second camera doesn't exist. And it costs 899 yuan, which is about 9,000 rupees. That should perform as well as the Cool1 considering everything's the same. Anyway, that's just my take on the Cool1 Dual. But we at C40 Tech want your voices to be heard too. So let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it or vote it down if you didn't, and also let me know why. Constructive criticism is always welcome. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Thanks a lot for watching. This is Sundar from C40 Tech, leaving for the moment. Have a nice day.